Happy anniversary, fellow Muppet fans, and welcome to Movin' Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is normally the podcast where we watch Muppet movies 2 minutes at a time and talk about them a lot, but this is a bonus episode, so we will be doing something a little bit different, which we will tell you about. I'm your host, Ryan Rowe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And this week we're very happy to have a return guest with us, one of our old Muppet nerd pals. Guest, please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Grant Harding.
Welcome back to the show, Grant.
Yeah, thank you.
What was the last thing you were on to talk about?
Last thing was Rolf working at the kennel.
Oh, that's a good scene. And this is a good special. This week we're watching the TV special, The Muppets, A Celebration of 30 Years. This originally aired on January 21st, 1986. And as you might guess from the title, it celebrates the Muppets' recent 30th anniversary. I guess, depending on how you look at it, their 30th anniversary was, I guess by most counts, it's 1955 when Sam and Friends premiered on Washington, D.C. TV.
Yeah, I've always wondered if the intention was for this to air in 85, and then January of 86 was just when it got scheduled by CBS.
Yeah, I don't know why they would have held it for a few weeks there, but
but
for some reason they did.
I mean, we'll get to this later, but Little Muppet Monsters is featured in this. And Little Muppet Monsters aired 3 episodes in September of 85. So by the time this aired, it had been off the air for 4 months. So I think it's reasonable to assume that the special was shot before that show premiered, you know?
Yes,
probably.
They thought it would air maybe a little earlier. Yeah, that's funny and strange.
I believe it taped in November 85?
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am sure according to...
Wait, Grant, did you just ride away on your motorcycle?
Yes. You wanted excitement. Yes, according to Jim's Red Book, it taped on September 17th, 1985 in Toronto.
So that is between the first and second episodes of Little Muppet Monsters airing on television.
Oh, wow.
Because those were the 14th was the premiere, and the 28th was the finale.
Wow, so they had no reason to believe that when they taped it, that Little Muppet Monsters wouldn't still be on the air.
Right, yeah, it was just...
And also...
Right, it just started.
Yeah, it was that new hotness.
Yeah, oh yeah. And also they probably knew that the special was not going to air before 1986 started.
Right.
So there we go. I'm glad we got that settled.
I don't know if you want to do this later, but I wonder if we should explain what the heck Little Muppet Monsters is.
I think we can get into that later for sure, yeah, when we get to it. So actually, I thought maybe at the beginning here would be a good place to kind of ask, though, which we did a little bit off mic, but we should do it in the episode, just like to get an idea of what's our history with this special. I had a VHS tape of this that my parents taped off TV for me from the original airing when I was a kid, but they missed like the first 15 minutes of it or so. So I had never seen the whole thing until it aired on Nickelodeon in the 90s as part of their Muppet Matinee series.
Right, and that's when I saw it, was Muppet Matinee. And
did you tape it from Nickelodeon?
No, I did not. So we didn't get Nickelodeon until 1997. So pre-97, my grandma Helen got Nickelodeon. And that was when we watched it. It was like if we were at my grandma, who only lived 15 minutes from us. So it's not like we were never over there. We were over there pretty often. But that's when I watched Nickelodeon. So it was some idle Saturday afternoon. And Muppet Matinee just happened to be on. And, you know, I'd seen Muppet Matinee before, but it was the Frog Prince or whatever. And all good. I loved them all. But this one where it was like, what if history exists? What if you can move through time with the Muppets? And it was incredible to me.
Yeah, what a thing to just come upon.
To stumble on, yeah.
How about you, Grant? When did you first see it?
So I had it taped off TV. I was talking I was texting with my mom trying to work out the timing because when it aired in 86, we didn't have a VCR yet. So it must have been a rebroadcast.
Right.
And of course, I was barely a year old when it aired. So I was going, how did you guys know to tape this? you didn't know I love the Muppets, but of course my mother pointed out that they were longtime watchers of the Muppet Show, and so they probably taped it for themselves to watch, which never occurred.
Oh, nice.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But I think I was certainly the reason it never got taped over.
That makes sense
yes.
too, yeah.
Did you break the tab off the VHS tape?
Actually, I have an anecdote about that I'll get to later on.
Okay.
So
only 80s kids will get that reference.
So you guys both saw this a bunch of times, though.
Yes.
Because I saw it that once on Nickelodeon, and then not again until like tape trading days, like in high school.
Mm.
You know, I probably got it from Phil Chapman on Muppet Central.
From Muppet Central, yeah.
When I was in high school.
Those were the days, tape trading. Yeah. That's how we got our hands on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the special opens with the first of many clip montages. That's pretty much what the majority of the special is these clip packages, which are then sort of interspersed with scenes of the Muppets in this banquet hall celebrating their own anniversary. So just watching these clip montages back in the day as a young kid, there were so many of these things that I had never seen what they were from. I'm sure that wasn't a grammatically correct sentence, but just like we didn't have access to most of the old stuff, like the variety show appearances or any of it really. Well, and I hadn't seen that many Muppet Show episodes at the time. So everything just seemed like, wow, what is that? What is that? Right. I want to see that, whatever that's from.
And this was my first exposure to a lot of stuff from the Muppet movies as well.
Oh, wow.
Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah. Like that Hey a Movie montage was, when I finally saw the Muppet movie years later, it was like, that's the context for that.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely saw all three movies before I saw this. But I'd seen relatively little of the Muppet Show because I'd only seen it during that brief time that it was on Nickelodeon, which again, I didn't get, you know? So this was like, and I was thinking while watching this, I probably assumed Ray Charles was a Muppet Show guest star, you know?
You would, yes.
Yeah,
based on what you see here, yeah.
And Lily Tomlin. You know, like they're both presented like among clips from the Muppet Show,
right?
You know, so
yeah. So then the logo. There's this logo that sort of looks like a coin, I guess, or it's like an embossed seal. I can't actually tell who all the characters are. There's definitely Kermit, Fozzie, Ralph, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, Ernie, maybe Gobo, or possibly Traveling Matt in the back. And then maybe just like some monsters or Frackles, possibly some of the Little Muppet monsters. Who are those other characters?
Who the heck is that guy in the bottom right with the nose?
That's one of the ones I couldn't tell.
It's not Gonzo because Gonzo's elsewhere.
Is it supposed to be, is it Big Z or Big V, like the monster from that variety show sketch that eats Kermit?
Yeah, Inchworm guy, I think that's him, yeah.
Yeah, like that's his little nose sticking up.
Yeah, and then Yorick is right by Rolf.
Oh, Yorick is there, yes.
Yeah, which is one of those things where this special, like, we can get into the Salmon Friends aspect of this later, I guess, but this special makes the Salmon Friends characters, and especially Yorick, seem like legends. Like, it feels like the Justice Society of America has come to Earth One to team up with the Justice League, right? And the JSA in this instance is Sam and Yorick and Harry the Hipster.
Harry the Hipster are there, yes. Yeah, it's great.
And it's just like, what a thrill. It's like, wow, they're back. And of course, I didn't know who these characters were as a child, but it's still just like, wow, they got Yorick for this? Like,
he came back.
Yeah.
I am dying to read Craig Shemin's book.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Oh, yes. Craig Shemin, previous podcast guest, writing an upcoming book about Salmon Friends, which has an exhaustive history and an episode guide. So, yes.
Listening to him talk about it on your podcast, it was like, oh, shut up and take my money.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Agreed.
It's gonna be really cool. Yeah. Indispensable for the bookshelf of the Muppet collector. So it's the Muppets, a celebration of 30 years. The announcer tells us that all the Muppets have come here to this ballroom, and they're all gathered here at these tables. He says something like they're all here except the ones who couldn't make it.
And they're all in black tie.
Yes, it's very fancy, yeah.
Think of all the black ties the workshop had to make.
That's true, yeah. I like how many giant monsters are there.
Right. The banquet hall seems enormous. Like,
yes,
they could easily have done this on some small set, and it's like impossibly huge. Like you say, to make room for Sweetums and Timmy Monster.
And all these big sweeping shots of this banquet hall full of Muppets. It's just it's amazing.
Sweetums is there, Dog Lion is there, Barkley. You really realize how huge Barkley is too when you see some of these shots of him next to the little tiny anything Muppets and whatnots.
I actually tried to draw a diagram of all the tables and trying to figure out where everybody was. Now, not everybody stayed put.
Right.
They weren't worried about continuity and, all that stuff. But, there's the head table.
Right. Well, yeah, we can say they do seat sort of similar character groups together.
So at the head table, we've got Bert, Ernie, Rolf, Piggy, Kermit, Fozzie, Gonzo, Robin, Scooter, and Oscar.
Right.
The orchestra, interestingly enough, is a combination of the Electric Mayhem and Nicky Napoleon and his Emperor Penguins from Little Muppet Monsters.
Okay.
All conducted by Nigel.
Very good.
We've got a table of sort of secondary Muppet Show characters, Sam the Eagle, Beauregard, Bunsen Beaker, Swedish Chef. And then a table of, tertiary Muppet Show characters, Mildred, J.P. Gross, the Lubbock Lou and his Jug Huggers. Mm-hmm. There's a table of Sesame Street characters, Guy Smiley, Biff, Sully, Telly, the Count, Sherlock Hemlock. There's a table of pigs, which is...
Yes, there's a table of all pigs. I noticed Lydia, the tattooed lady pig, is there. It's nice to see her.
There's a table of Sesame Street birds.
Miss Finch and the Dodos, right? That's
Miss Finch and the Dodos are up there with Big Bird, but there's also a table of smaller birds. There's Hoots and Madam Chairbird and a bunch of nameless...
Madam Chairbird.
Very good.
And, as you said, there's a table of chickens,
yes.
Of course.
Sure, yeah.
There's a table of rats.
And it's those same rats we just saw in Muppets Take Manhattan. It's
the
Chester
Pete's Luncheonette gang, yeah.
Ratatouille, I just called him, but yeah.
Behind the rats, you can see a table of Emmett Otter characters, which they never get a close-up, but they're there.
I guess I didn't see that. And because then I also thought I saw Wendell, sitting way in the back. And maybe, like you say, they moved some of them around. So I think at one point Wendell is just, hanging out behind everybody else.
And amusingly, there's a table of Muppet old people.
Yes, I like that.
Statler and Waldorf, of course, and Pops.
Yeah, and some of the members of Jerry and the Atrix. Yeah.
Right. Well, later we get that, towards the end, during Rainbow Connection, we get that shot of Statler and Waldorf and Pops bopping their heads up and down, in rhythm, who's ever in the center going opposite of the two flanking him.
Yeah,
I don't remember who's in the center and who's on the sides, but yeah, it's great.
If you weren't super familiar with the Muppets, you could be forgiven for going, why are there three old guys in the balcony?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe from left to right it goes Pops, Waldorf, Statler in that shot. Not that it's super important, but... this is...
In order of height, I guess, right?
Probably.
In order of age.
But yeah, this is when you're planning the seating chart for your wedding reception.
It's
and you're
just like that.
Okay, so we'll put the birds at this table with the other birds. They'll have something to talk about. Yeah.
It's exactly like that. My God, yeah. We'll put everyone from the Chinatown artist community at that table.
Everyone from Sesame Street will sit together because they can talk about letters and numbers.
Yeah, they do love those letters and numbers over there.
Yes.
Of course, as you mentioned, we've got a table of all the big birds, including Big Bird himself, and Miss Finch, the Dodos.
Yeah, it's interesting when you have so many large characters like that. The Dodos and Miss Finch seem to be they must be. I don't think somebody's wearing the full costumes of those characters in those shots, right? Somebody must be just holding up the top halves of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
To make them look like they're actually sitting on chairs at this table. I don't know. It's hard for me to describe what's in my head, but
I suppose Carol Spinney wouldn't have to have the Big Bird legs on.
Yeah.
You've got all the big monsters, Sweetums, Dog Lion, Behemoth.
Yeah.
The lion from the Sylvester Stallone episode.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
He's like prominently featured too. I feel he's so big. How could he not be?
Yeah.
And weirdly, you don't see much of him, but there's a large version of Mana Mana.
Yes. Yeah, near the back. And I wonder, is that one that was built for the Nancy Sinatra Las Vegas show where they had to build larger versions of the puppets so they could be seen in a live venue?
I think it must.
That would make sense, yeah.
I can't imagine why else they would have a big Mana.
It's like extra large Mana.
Yeah, his name is Mana Monster.
Mega Mana. Yeah, so Fozzie introduces the guest of honor, Kermit the Frog. Now, Anthony, a few years ago, you and I and our friend Joe Hennes wrote an article on the Tough Pigs website about the 30th anniversary of this 30th anniversary special.
You might even say that you and I and Joe went strolling through this special one day.
You might say that. And you pointed out...
I wouldn't, but maybe you might.
You pointed out that although this is set up as a 30th anniversary of the Muppets, as much as anything, it's a 30th anniversary. And that the fact that they emphasize Kermit as kind of the star and the core of everything, like it's also really a celebration of everything that Jim Henson has accomplished in the last 30 years.
Kermit is Jim in this, right? Like,
yeah.
And it occurred to me on this last rewatch that even the Sesame Street clips, they showcase Kermit just because he's the ambassador of the whole thing.
Yeah. And that's really, that's really just celebrating what Jim Henson has managed to do in 30 years of television. So, yeah, Kermit's a little embarrassed by all this attention, which will continue throughout the special. Fozzie insists that Kermit is the reason they're all there. They show a clip of the scene in Lou Lord's office from the Muppet movie, which is... Oh, and then that's followed by Kermit's humble beginnings on local television with some clips from Sam and Friends.
It's a nice recontextualization of that shot of all the Muppets celebrating in Lou Lord's office, and then they zoom in on Kermit being all quiet. It's like he's looking back
on Sam and Friends.
At WRC TV and going, gosh, I can't believe Footlight Theater, I've come so far.
Yeah, I started on this old local TV show, and now I'm going to Hollywood.
Well, and I was trying to think. I was actually talking to Joe about this earlier today. Is this the first time Sam and Friends footage was ever seen on national television? Like, is it in a Muppets and Men at all, or maybe like that 60 Minutes piece? I guess might have had some or something, but.
Yeah,
there's no like career documentary retrospectives before this.
When was Henson's Place? That was a little later than this, right?
Oh, Henson's Place might be 84. Yeah, I forgot about Henson's Place. Yeah, that's 84.
I don't know.
Okay. Oh yeah, that aired on TV, right?
Yeah, but this, and for Muppet fans, again, who maybe didn't have everything on tape, like this would have been another opportunity, like another rare opportunity to see that stuff.
Right, yeah, it's not every day. You can't watch a compilation of Wilkins and Wonkins on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes,
man. Kids today, they don't know how good they got it. But yeah, so it is an interesting, we've talked about this to death, but there's no Muppet continuity. There's no Muppet canon, but it is interesting that they frame it this way in this special of Kermit being this local TV star who then made good in Hollywood and brought all his friends along.
Sort of approximately how it happened.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So then Kermit reveals that Ralph was the first big Muppet TV star on the Jimmy Dean show. Ralph has this line that he says to Ernie, "I was a big star back then."
I love that.
Love it.
It's similar to a line he has in the Muppet Show Sex and Violence, where he's in an At the Dance sketch, and he says, "I used to be with Jimmy Dean, but no one remembers me."
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that Ernie just kind of nods in sympathy, like
right, yeah. Ralph gets wistful about the old days.
It's funny when you say Ernie nods in sympathy. It's like Ernie's like, "Yeah, I sang our first big hit, and they're letting some hippie introduce it," right? Like
That's true. Yeah, that's going to happen. We see Ed Sullivan introducing Java, which they let play out like most of that number. That's fun. We see a clip of Kermit on Cher. This is, I guess we are pretty sure that this is just kind of like Kermit. Well, this is Jim Henson as Kermit and Cher just kind of like improvising on the set of Cher's variety show. Because he's
and they used that footage to help sell the idea of the Muppet Show, didn't they?
That sounds right. Because that was like a year or two before the Muppet Show, I think.
Yeah, I remember my Brian J. Jones. That
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where he asks her, "So, do you fool around?" The audience cracks up. Cher cracks up. She says, "What do you have in mind?" He says, "I thought we could." And she says, "What? Go to the hop?"
Yeah.
Very, very good joke.
I can't believe that Jim Lewis was writing for Cher. Anyways.
Oh, you'll have to have him on the podcast one day.
Oh, that'd be a thrill, man. I'd love that.
That would be fun.
For listeners who might not know who that is, Jim Lewis has been writing for the Muppets for 30-something years at this point, and writes a lot of their TV, talk show appearances.
Like talk show, yeah.
And like he wrote the books like Before You Leap by Kermit and The Diva Code by Miss Piggy and all that kind of stuff. He's currently one of the people writing their social media accounts. I mean, anytime that the Muppets are not like being performed by their performers, it's often Jim Lewis writing them.
Yes.
Not all the time, but often.
Right.
And he loves those like Kermit frog puns. I mean, Kermit eating flies, Kermit's going to his pad, Kermit's going to the hop, whatever.
Yes.
Jim Lewis can't resist that kind of joke.
It's true. It's a good way to make the mainstream audience get a chuckle.
I wish they'd taken the frog theming like further when they did the Muppets 2015. Like, I want to see Kermit in his house, in his fancy house, taking a bath in a bathtub full of algae.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, go all the way with it,
Yeah.
He could have like a bath product that's called like pond scum.
Yeah.
A bottle of pond scum. I'd like to see that. There's a clip of Kermit hosting the Tonight Show, which Fozzie says is something like the ultimate achievement, something like that.
And you guys covered that episode in a previous podcast.
Did. And yes, once again, watching this special, let's just say back in the day, generally, like when it was on TV, when it was on Nickelodeon, I always wanted to see that Tonight Show, and now last I checked, it was still on YouTube. I could watch the whole thing right now if I wanted to.
You can watch it whenever you want. Yeah. Yes,
exactly. Yeah. Fozzie then introduces the stars of Sam and Friends, who came to this banquet. It's Sam and Harry the hipster. Sam does not speak. I guess that was kind of his thing. Was he rarely or never spoke
Craig's book to find out what's really going on there, but he mostly from what I know, he mostly lip sync
to comedy records, or songs. Harry though says to Kermit, "How come you look so much better now than you did then?" Kermit says that's one of the advantages of being a Muppet. By the way, where's Yorick? And then Yorick pops up trying to eat Kermit's arm, which I love.
And then he's
I wish Yorick had been on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he's great.
Just there nibbling at Kermit's flippers,
Yeah,
just showing up backstage every once in a while,
eating things. Just another, not speaking, just nibbling on things. Just another annoyance for Kermit to deal with.
Right. But I can remember as a kid seeing this, and for some reason I remember having it in my head, getting the impression from this special that Sam and Friends was from the 1920s. Which obviously doesn't make any sense. Like I didn't know like when sound film or television was invented, as a child. But like there's just something about it that just seemed so ancient. Like it was just like, wow, the Muppets have been around forever, and they used to look like.
So did
that,
you? So since the special is called A Celebration of 30 Years, did you then assume that the special had originally aired in the 1950s?
I was not thinking about that at all.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
You weren't doing the math.
I don't think I was even thinking about it being called A Celebration of 30 Years. It was just like, it's well, because like what I think this reminded me of and this might be why I thought it was the 20s, is the Animaniacs 65th anniversary special.
Oh yes, which has the whole fake history.
Yeah, the whole fake history of the Animaniacs. So, which is obviously like riffing. They're both riffing on the same type of like AFI Lifetime Achievement Award banquet, or whatever, you know. But as a kid, it was just like, well, the Muppets go back as far as the Warners. Like Bosco hates them too, or Buddy, or whoever it was. You know?
Buddy, yeah.
It's Buddy, yeah.
That's everybody should watch that episode of Animaniacs.
Great. Yes,
it's great.
Animaniacs is currently on Hulu in the U.S. I think is it on? Is it anything in Canada? I don't know.
I don't know.
Disney Plus Star or whatever.
If you're not in the U.S., you can seek it out. Yeah. So then Fozzie introduces a montage of clips from the Muppet Show. There's going to be a lot of clips from the Muppet Show in this special. Yeah, there's just a handful of really funny representative clips here. Any specific thoughts on these?
Well, it's the classics, the lobster banditos, the...
Yes.
But, you know, I was all set to complain that you know, the most of the clips in this special are from the Muppet Show, specifically.
Yeah, they really are.
But then I was thinking, well, I mean, first of all, that's where a lot of their best material is. But also I realized the Muppet Show never did a clip show.
Right.
That's true, yeah.
I mean...
Sesame Street did a clip show every day.
Yeah, right.
You know?
But, you know, Muppets Tonight did a clip show.
Yeah, Muppets Tonight did a clip show, and they only had, 22 episodes total?
Yeah.
Muppet Show had never done one. Now, unless you count the Playhouse videos, which had just come out at this time.
Right, yeah, those straight-to-home video compilations.
But, so this is kind of, it's kind of a Muppet Show clip show with other stuff, too.
With some other stuff. Yeah, no, you're right. Although, like, I think it would have been very easy to just kind of skip straight to the Muppet Show. So I think it's admirable that they do include Wilkins and Wonkins and the LaChoy Dragon and you know, like the Ed Sullivan Show. I mean you could very easily say Sam and Friends and then nothing until 1976. Like that would have been very easy to do. But I remember seeing LaChoy Dragon in this as a kid and being like, wow, this is everything. Just like,
oh yeah.
I mean,
he's so funny, knocking everything off the shelf with his tail. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Especially as a kid, you're like, my God, I'd love to see that at the grocery store.
Right, exactly. But this special and the book Jim Henson The Works had the same effect on me. Like Ryan, you mentioned just like wanting to see everything.
Yes,
and
I want to know what everything is from.
Yeah, and both like that book too had that same effect on me. And it's just like all these clips, especially that older stuff though. Like, because I don't think I would watch the Muppet Show as a kid, and I didn't think of the Muppet Show as old. You know, in 1993, I did like George Burns was still alive. You know, I didn't think Gonzo Fiddles.
That's your yardstick.
That's my yardstick. Yeah, I mean, but not just. I mean, most of the guests, including the one who was 97 years old by then, were still alive. You know, so it wasn't like it's not like now where the Muppet Show is more than half of the guest stars have passed away. It's like a show. Yeah, it's a show about the Muppets and dead celebrities. You know, like
there's oh jeez. Well, there's a page on.
But true.
There's a page on Muppet Wiki of Muppet Show guest stars who have died, and it's steadily growing.
Yeah,
you know?
It's not.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
not
that's
get any smaller. Yeah,
what happens. Time marches on. I did try to figure out the percentage a while back just out of curiosity, and it wasn't as high as I thought.
Right, but I know it tipped a couple of years ago. It got to the point where there's more gone than are still with us.
Yeah,
which is sad but true. But that's my point. Is like now, the Muppet Show feels like a show from 45 years ago.
Right.
But 25 years ago, it just felt like some TV show with the Muppets in it. You know. So to see the LaChoy Dragon. 1968, Sam and Friends, 1955 or whatever. That was the first time that I ever realized the Muppets weren't like just a thing for kids now. You know,
they had a history.
Yeah, they had a history. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a great, useful purpose that the special can serve. And it would probably be for someone who's already inclined to like quirky old pop culture stuff now, it would probably be not a bad way to get them interested in the Muppets.
Right.
By just showing them the special. Or if they were sort of vaguely aware of the Muppets and you wanted to show them like a little bit more about what they're all about, you could show them this. So then Ralph takes the lectern to talk about Miss Piggy. His remarks are brief, but he does manage to get a fat joke in there. He says, she's one of the biggies, no matter how tight we lace her corset.
I like that he apologizes, though.
He does. He says, like, sorry, Piggy, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
And then, yes, Piggy knows how to make an entrance. And they show some clips of Piggy making dramatic entrances and these glamorous shots of Piggy. It's too bad we're a year away from Muppet Family Christmas, in which she arrives on that dog sled.
Right. Although it's fascinating to me that there are this is about the 5th TV special with these characters in it.
Something like that.
It's like Muppets Go to the movies, or Muppets Go Hollywood has a big entrance for Miss Piggy. Muppets Go to the Movies has a big entrance for Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Fantastic Miss Piggy Show is entirely a big entrance for Miss Piggy.
Yes.
You know? And then there's this one and Muppet Family Christmas. And it's like, on the Muppet Show, that's not a thing. That's not like, hey, everybody, Miss Piggy's here. It's just like, it's
none of the clips in this montage are from the Muppet Show, are they?
Right, exactly. Because it's just like,
no.
She just is a singer. She just does numbers. But like, all of these specials throughout the 80s, like, spend their time building up this like epic, like grand myth of like Miss Piggy the star is here, you know, and which then ends with Muppet Family Christmas, which we will talk about eventually. Piggy saying, Kermit saying, if there's one thing Piggy knows, it's how to make an entrance. Because by then we've seen it like 5 times, so we just know that that's what she does in TV specials.
And then they say that again in Muppets at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
And then she also has a dramatic entrance in the Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson, where she shows up surrounded by singing penguins.
Right, yeah, and then it finally infiltrates the movies in Treasure Island. But that's really the first time.
Ooh. Maybe one of us should write a Tough Pigs article about the history of Miss Piggy's dramatic entrances.
You got it, Chief.
So, there's this big staircase on the stage, lights up. Piggy is at the top. She turns around. She immediately tumbles down the stairs.
Yeah, that rules.
You can't ask for more than that. That's great.
She wishes that was the moment that I realized the laugh track in this is like, and I guess the laugh track is supposed to be the Muppets in the audience, right? But there is actually a crowd of Muppets. That was the moment though where I realized that the laughter just sounds like the laughter on any canned laughter sitcom. Because like it would be great if we could hear like Richard Hunt very clearly or something.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, so I wonder if any of it is the same laugh track that they used on the Muppet Show.
I suppose it is. Yeah.
The conceit there as well is that it's an audience full of Muppets.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those characters are the same.
Right.
I think that's why I'm always weirded out by animated shows that have a laugh track, because I'm like, is there an animated audience?
Like the Flintstones?
Yeah. Like, are there a bunch of cavemen in the stands laughing at them?
Look, they're just so much. They got to go to a taping of the Flintstones. Wouldn't you be laughing? You'd be so hyped. Can you get to watch the backgrounds running on a loop behind Fred live in person? Great.
Yeah, they've got some poor dinosaur running on a treadmill to make the background.
Wow.
And then that dinosaur looks at the camera and says, "It's a living."
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
How many times did the dinosaurs actually say the line "It's a living" on the
Very
Flintstones?
few. And actually, I have to give a nod to our previous guest, Jordan Brandon, whose least favorite podcast joke is referencing dinosaurs on the Flintstones saying "It's a living." So,
well, it's become just one of those like things now that
people just talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, a certain type of pop culture nerd, and I'm including all 3 of us.
Right.
That we just make references to that all the time. I guess like I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids, which I guess that is probably more something that was actually spoken on Scooby-Doo.
But there's also a lot fewer episodes of Scooby-Doo. Of Scooby-Doo,
of the original series.
Like, obviously, Scooby-Doo has been on almost the whole time for 50 plus years.
Right.
But I mean, like, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It's like 17 episodes or something, right? Like, it's tiny.
Scooby-Doo, a celebration of 50 years.
Scooby-Doo, a celebration of 17 episodes. But yeah, they must have had different lines for the dinosaurs and
things
that were serving as appliances on the Flintstones.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go watch all 166 episodes of the
Please
Flintstones.
do. I wish somebody would.
On HBO Max. It's very convenient. And
there's one, I think is it a bird that's serving as a bottle opener in the movie, the live action Flintstones movie, that just turns to the camera and says, "This job sucks."
That sounds like the 90s, yeah.
Oh, that's not as good.
No, it's not as good, but...
Not that the Flintstones is... I'm going to show my own bias here, but not that the Flintstones is good, ever.
No, I like it.
It's entertaining enough.
I think it's fun.
The original series is entertaining enough.
I grew up mostly watching it in French.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, wow.
Quebecois channel.
How do
you say yabba dabba doo in French?
I think it's just yabba dabba doo, but the town of Bedrock is called Saint Granit.
Is that right?
Okay.
Saint Granite, because every town in Quebec is called Saint something.
Nice. That rules.
Wow.
Also, this is a crossover that we're watching, and it blew my little mind when they did the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones crossover TV movie.
My favorite thing about the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones is that Elroy, the son, the little 8-year-old son, just invents a time machine because he's bored.
Yes.
And it has a switch with three settings: present, future, and past. And when you flip it to past, it takes you to caveman times, and when you flip it to future, it takes you to their exact home. If you're in caveman, if you happen,
I don't remember. Did they ever switch it to present?
Why would they call themselves future and not present?
It might. Now that I think about it, it might just be past and future, because they don't take it to the future until they're in caveman times.
Right.
I
don't know if that stands up to scientific scrutiny. And then George Jetson hears Fred Flintstone saying "yabba dabba doo," and he starts saying "ooba dooba."
That's a missed opportunity. He should have started singing "eep, op, ork, eep,
ooh,
op, ork,
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Grant's like, why do you guys care so much about Hanna-Barbera's sitcoms? This is all garbage.
I mean, I've seen it, but I didn't like it.
It was available to rent, like on iTunes and Amazon Video. Last time I checked, if people out there want to go look for it. The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones.
It is also streaming on Boomerang. I know because my mom has Boomerang, and we watched it there one time.
Oh, great. We should move on. But do they also have those other TV movies that were part of that same sort of series, like Yogi's Ark Lark?
Probably. I know. I bet so, because I know that they have Yogi's First Christmas on there, because I've also seen
that was probably part of the same package. Yeah.
Which is 97 minutes long.
Yeah, they weren't fooling around with those. Anyway, Miss Piggy wishes Kermit a happy 30th birthday. He says, "Remember, it isn't just my 30th birthday, it's ours." So it's this interesting thing in this special where it's like, the Muppets are all, like, they're all treated as one entity.
Mm. Right, Miss Piggy had not been around for 30 years.
No, she's been around for...
But when they talk, when they talk about doing commercials... Yeah, when they talk about doing commercials, it's like, oh, we used to do commercials, even though none of these characters were ever actually in those commercials. It's just like, it's the Muppets as a single unit,
right.
As an act,
except for Rolf, right? Wasn't Rolf in some Purina commercials with?
Yes, he was in. Yes, that's true.
He was created for Purina.
Oh, there you go.
Right, yeah. But yeah, Piggy insists that she could not be 30. Kermit goes along with this and says, "Oh yes, you joined us very recently." And she says, "As a child star."
Right.
It's funny.
Which is like you joined us very recently, though, is pretty much true. I mean, like,
relatively.
The Muppet Show is less than 10 years old at this point.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. If you're talking about the whole 30-year history.
They revisited that joke. I remember when the first Muppet Show DVDs came out in whenever that was, 2004 or so. They were doing promotional interviews. And so at that point, the show was, 30 years old, maybe?
Yeah, 30 years old. It was 2005. So, I was 29 years old.
Okay, so they were doing promotional interviews, and Piggy was saying, of course, I wasn't on the show. I wasn't born yet. So if you see me on these DVDs, it's because George Lucas edited me in.
Oh, that's good. That's cute.
I don't remember that. That's funny. There was, listeners might be aware, our website, toughpigs.com, turned 20 years old recently. And the official Muppets Twitter account actually tweeted quote tweeted us to wish us a happy 20-year birthday or anniversary, and the tweet actually said something to the effect of "You're older than Miss Piggy now." Something. It was sort of in the same vein as these jokes about Miss Piggy being in denial about how old she is.
Yeah, but it's odd though, because at the same time you've got someone like Big Bird who really has been 6 for 50 years. Right. He's not in denial. Yeah. He's just in Arrested Development.
Right. Yeah. But vanity is not part of his character, so he doesn't really think about it.
No. Right. He's just lucky.
Right.
Yeah. He's just happy to be 6. So then, there's some clips from the Muppet movies, of which there were only 3 at this time.
Well, and Piggy is already insisting that they're married.
Oh, yes. I thought I had a note about that. But yes. Oh, yes. Piggy says, so we see how far Kermit has come, from local television show host to happily married frog. And Kermit says he does his little exasperated like Piggy, but he doesn't deny it. He doesn't say, no, we're not married.
Yeah. He's embarrassed that, she's bringing it up in front of everybody. But
Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing that's going to carry over into Muppet Family Christmas, right? Where he's genuinely worried that Piggy's not there yet. That's the whole emotional core of that special is Kermit worrying that Piggy won't be there to spend Christmas with them, and that's basically she's his wife. That special treats them like a happy couple. You know.
My headcanon about Kermit and Piggy is that he does love her. He's just bad at showing it and afraid of commitment.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
That's reasonable.
I love. Maybe the best joke in Muppets Most Wanted is when Piggy's not sure which Kermit is the real Kermit, and she says, "Will you marry me?" And he says, "Well, I mean, I would, I could." And she says, "Oh, that's him."
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Absolutely.
But I do think that this whole Muppets Take Manhattan through Jim's deaths, or even you could argue through Christmas Carol, I suppose, seems to be Kermit having reached the phase where he is comfortable with it, right? If we want to view it as a characterization arc, if not a continuity arc, because throughout the 80s, they're much more of a couple than they ever were on the Muppet Show.
At the very least, he's no longer running away from her or trying to constantly rebuff her. He's sort of resigned himself and maybe is fond of her.
Right. Yeah, but he's going, "Oh, you don't have to bring it up in front of everybody."
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And once again, there's no Muppet continuity, so they can change their minds about the status of Kermit and Piggy anytime, and they do
often.
So. Any thoughts about the montage of movie clips?
We already talked about them for 150 episodes.
That's true. If anyone wants to go back and listen, you can hear Anthony and myself talk about the things that are in these clips 2 minutes at a time.
If you really want to, you could edit together the episodes of Moving Right Along in the order of the clips in this montage.
That's true. You could. Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to, but
you certainly could. Yes.
Sure could, yeah.
Then New Zealand pops up to request the bicycle scene from the Great Muppet Caper. Apparently, it's his favorite. That's interesting. I guess. No, he's not in it, is he? Is he?
No.
Or is he? I don't think he's in it.
I don't think he
is. I don't think he is. No.
Wow. But and also, I guess, are there any scenes with fish in the Great Muppet Caper? I mean, there's scenes with him in the movie, but
There's scenes in water, but there's...
Yeah.
Oh, there is a goldfish. Isn't there a goldfish in the Piggy's Fantasy water number?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so why isn't that Lou's favorite scene? But anyway. He says, people are always asking us how we did that. And then they show an extended clip of Couldn't We Ride?
Here's where I must tell a personal anecdote about this special and VHS tape. Because one day, as a small child, I was watching this special on tape for the millionth time. And my gaze wandered idly toward the buttons on the VCR. And I went, gee, I know what play and stop and fast forward and rewind all do. I wonder what record does.
Oh, no.
I think I'm going to press it and find out. Thankfully, my father was in the room and was able to leap up and press stop a couple seconds after I hit record. But not before it had recorded a couple seconds of a football game right over Couldn't We Ride.
Okay.
Sure.
So henceforth, every time I watched that special, we had New Zealand's introduction, and we'd start with the nice music, and then suddenly, and Bernie Kosar goes out for a pass.
My version of that was we had Return of the Jedi taped off USA, and about 30 seconds of the climax, the big climax of Return of the Jedi, cutting between the 3 different locations. The part with Han and Chewie, part of that was the frugal gourmet mixing something in a bowl.
Not quite as exciting.
Not quite as exciting, but I watched it many times. Like I've definitely seen that cut of Return of the Jedi more than any other cut.
So when you watch The Return of the Jedi now, you probably expect to see the frugal gourmet.
Right, exactly.
Make an appearance.
That's the copy you had, and so you saw that over and over again, and that's
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's also the only cut that has never been released on DVD, I think, of Return of the Jedi.
The Anthony's childhood cut.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. When they come back from that clip, Beauregard looks around and says, "Hey guys, how did they do that?" That's a nice little button on that.
We'd have to wait another 3 years for Jim to explain it to us in Secrets of the Muppets.
Yeah, he does explain it in that episode of the Jim Henson Hour. I always think it's too bad that they weren't taping any behind the scenes footage that day when they shot Couldn't We Ride? Because you get it when Jim explains it in Secrets of the Muppets, but it would be so cool to actually see more of what that looked like.
Yeah. We should go back in time and shoot behind the scenes footage of that scene.
That would be one of the things I would do if I went back.
Nothing else.
Yeah, that
right.
Given the power of time travel.
The only thing. All right. Yeah, that's a good use of your time machine. Built by Elroy Jetson. So after a commercial break, Dr. Teeth tells us, basically he just reminds us that the Muppets are really, really famous. And we see some, we don't see any more clips. We just see a bunch of magazine covers and album covers. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Then Kermit still is just embarrassed by all this attention. I wonder if some of this was like Jim Henson wanted to make sure, like, don't make Kermit too self-aggrandizing because Kermit is me. So
and Kermit wouldn't do that. Yeah,
that's true too. Yeah, so Kermit's just like, guys, come on. But Sweetums objects to all this. Okay, he wants to see more monsters.
Sweetums, as far as I can tell, is objecting to the magazine cover montage specifically. Because he's like, stands up right after that and he's like, you left out my favorite part. Monsters! Yeah. And it's like, bro, it was magazine covers. Like, they don't...
Yeah, but Sweetums probably doesn't like to read, so...
That's true. That's true.
No, he reads the New York Times, doesn't he?
Does Sweetums...
Without his top half on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that picture of Richard Hunt. Yeah.
That's great.
I guess so.
No, but so then the monsters... Well, you go ahead. You say what you're going to say.
Yeah, no, just he says in the old days, everything the Muppets did had monsters in it, and everything ended with eating or explosions. And of course, all the monsters at his table are very enthusiastically agreeing with this. The two-headed monster, Dog Lion, Sundance the Lion, and then they go into this montage of clips of monsters eating and explosions,
which is this I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. that montage is the only time we see the Planet Gorch characters from Saturday Night Live in this.
Yes, there's a very brief glimpse of Plubus and Scred.
Right, yeah, and like what a thrill to see them in this.
That's another thing. We're watching this back in the day. I was just like, whoa, wait, what? Who were those characters?
Right.
Are those guys from the Muppet Show?
That montage is so good. Like the editing,
it's my favorite part of this movie.
The timing of, we've got Ugly Song and then the, the 1812
It turns
overture?
into the 1812 overture.
And just the timing of the explosions, of the eating of the hits, like
yes.
It's
such an amazingly edited piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, like, I know for me, that was like what I thought of as Muppets as a child is like the explosions and eating. And this is definitely, like, this special is definitely why. That they make a point to say it out loud,
Right.
And then it's just like the coolest thing you've ever seen. Like,
yeah, and there's not enough of that kind of stuff in the Muppet stuff that we get now. It's there should be more explosions and more monsters eating other Muppets and just weird, crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Agreed.
Did anyone get blown up? There were probably some explosions in Muppet Labs bits on Muppets Now, right?
I don't know. They were just like throwing pizzas at the wall. So.
Yeah, I mean that was fun to watch, but
Yeah,
I can't remember any major explosions or anybody getting eaten.
One of my favorite things in the 2015 sitcom is the character Pache. They like steal his cell phone, and Big Mean Carl swallows it.
Yes.
So then Rizzo has to go spelunking into Big Mean Carl's mouth to get it back.
Yeah, that was good.
That was one that felt like old times. It felt like a new like an update of old time. Like
it felt like a sitcom. Yeah, like a sitcom twist on an old Muppet bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that.
More of this, please.
Right. And speaking of explosions, Crazy Harry pops up and makes an explosion. And when the smoke clears, the Count is up on the podium. He introduces Bert and Ernie. Bert starts reading a heartfelt speech about the Muppets being on Sesame Street and being used on this educational TV program. And Ernie pulls off his nose. And Ernie says, "That's the old nose joke, Bert. It's been funny ever since Sesame Street started back in 1969. Bert says, "That's true. You have been doing that to me for 17 years. Guys, 17. Can you believe there was a time when Sesame Street had only been on TV for 17 years?
17 years is nothing now.
It's nothing.
It's literally 1/3 of the show's run.
Wow.
Time-wise.
Yeah.
But the Sesame montage that we get is only 3 minutes long. Like, talking about this special being Muppet Show heavy. Like, we'll see more later. They show Sesame Street in, like, a few other clip compilations and stuff.
Right.
But, yeah, during, they show, well, no, I guess Being Green is from the Muppet Show.
Oh, yeah, no, maybe not.
But no, they do, though, because we see, I'm trying to think, what was it? Maybe not.
I think maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's only like 3 minutes, and it's like, was the Muppet Show that much more popular than Sesame Street? Or is it just like, that's just not what this special's about,
It seems like they just chose to focus on the Muppet Show. Maybe they were, like, that was the big thing that they were proud of. That was more of an in-house production, where I guess, like, Sesame Street is more like it's the product of Children's Television Workshop and all these other people, whereas maybe the Muppet Show felt more like something that the Muppet people came up with themselves. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to say I do love Ernie pulling Bert's nose off.
Sure, yeah.
Bert without his nose is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
He speaks in a nasally voice.
Yes.
Has that happened lately? Is, Peter Linz as Ernie pulling Eric Jacobson's Bert's nose off?
I don't think so. And in fact, Muppet Wiki only lists 2 examples of Ernie doing that to Bert on the show, on Sesame Street, on the page, which is called something like Muppets Who Have Had Body Parts Removed.
Oh yeah.
But there have been a few other, like he did it once to him on that episode of the Muppet Show that they're on.
Yeah.
And then I think in the Lowe's movie theater policy trailer, he does it to him. So yeah, there are a few other. I think that's right. Yeah, is that? Yeah, and it's one of those like, don't do this, and then he pulls it.
It's such a good gag. Like I wish they did it all the time.
Yeah, it just is a great way to take advantage of the fact that they're puppets, and it's very funny. Yeah. Any other specific thoughts on this Sesame Street montage?
Well, yes. I have one very specific thought, which is that we see the American Express parody with Big Bird about holding a grown-up friend's hand.
Yeah.
And the grown-up friend whose hand he holds to cross the street is Bob. And at the end of the special, there is a list of special guest stars. And it's every human who appears on screen except for Bob McGrath.
Oh.
And
oh no.
Yeah, he's not. I double checked. He's not listed. It's all the guest stars and not Bob. And it's like, and some of them don't say anything. Stallone doesn't say anything. Julie Andrews doesn't say anything. But you see them and they're listed, and Bob isn't. And it's like, man, what a slap in the face to like the most true and loyal member of the Sesame Street cast.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of weird that they used that American Express parody in the first place. Like, it's not. Well, it was several years old at the time.
What they're going for in that montage is like Sesame Street is silly and funny, right? It's like we also see like Bert playing checkers with Bernice, who's not that good at playing checkers. Like it's they very much seem to have chosen clips that are like Sesame Street is funny and it's not just education. Like, so like what they're going for there is like, it's a parody. It's Sesame Street is so hip. They're spoofing TV commercials.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It just seems to take up a large chunk of that montage that I feel like could have been something else, but
could have been Grover's Weather Machine.
Yeah, right. Sure. Something like anything. That. Yeah.
The mystery box.
Yeah.
But no, it's fine. So then Oscar, Then Oscar begrudgingly introduces the giant overgrown bag of giblets, or is he a turkey? It's just fun to have a little interaction with two Carol Spinney characters. Big Bird says the Muppets have done all sorts of things for kids. First there was Sesame Street. Now there's Muppet Babies, Little Muppet Monsters, and Fraggle Rock too.
Okay, let's talk about the fact that Fraggle Rock is last on that list.
Yeah,
I know. Could be like the special guest star Edward Herrmann role, right? Special appearance by Edward Herrmann, but it feels weird. Fraggle Rock is the most important of those three programs.
Fraggle Rock, one of the pinnacles of television achievement.
I agree, and in fact, there is a real. I mean, we were just talking about a lack of Sesame Street content in this special. There is a real dearth of Fraggle content.
It's surprising.
But I will say this in its favor. Like, I'm glad they're there at all. And this special on Nickelodeon in 1994 was the first time I ever saw a single second of the TV show Fraggle Rock.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of like, oh, that's a thing. Like, I think that might be part of it too. Like, it wasn't on, like I think in Canada it's different. It was on CBC. Here it was on HBO. So it's very much like, hey, premium cable kids, you might know what this is. Everyone else, this is a thing that exists.
You said 1994.
I think this was on.
4. So it was on. Was it on TNT by then, or maybe you didn't have TNT either?
You didn't have Nickelodeon. I had TNT as a kid, but I don't remember seeing Fraggle Rock on there.
Yeah, it was there for a while after the HBO run.
Is that right?
I don't know the exact time period. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so we alluded to this earlier, but Little Muppet Monsters was actually Grant, you were the one who said we should explain it maybe a little?
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd be forgiven watching this for thinking Little Muppet Monsters was a classic show you'd missed. Just as Anthony, thought about Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock really was a classic show he'd missed, but Little Muppet Monsters was not.
Right. Although I believe, if I remember right from what I've read on Muppet Wiki, the Nickelodeon airing cut out the Little Muppet Monsters.
I think it was the Odyssey Channel.
Odyssey, okay.
A little bit later, a couple years later. Yeah.
So on Nick it was there. Okay.
Yeah. And do you want to give a brief rundown on what Little Muppet Monsters was, just in case, Grant?
Sure. Little Muppet Monsters was a show about 3 little Muppet monsters who hung out in the basement making a TV show, and for some reason it had animated adult Muppets in it, voiced by the Muppet Babies voice actors.
Yep.
And it was, I don't know, I don't think I've watched a full episode. But it only aired for, 3 full episodes?
3 episodes on TV, yeah. And
3 aired, and then there's some, I guess, some combination of the animation studio couldn't finish the animated segments in time, and then also they just sort of decided that it wasn't that good. Like, it wasn't up to the usual Muppet standards of quality, so they kind of abandoned it.
They just ran 2 episodes of Muppet Babies back to back and had great ratings, so they said, we'll just keep doing this.
Right. Well, I remember watching, because then I think probably Garrett Gilchrist,
yes,
fairly recently, who is a person who has restored much Muppet content, and we're all very grateful to him, certainly.
And other things that are not even Muppet content.
If anyone has seen the GIF of Kermit the Frog typing enthusiastically at his typewriter, that is from Garrett's restoration of an episode of Little Muppet Monsters.
That's true.
Right, but what I was going to say is, after he did that restoration, I watched one of them, and I could barely pay attention to it. It's dreadful. It's really bad. It's just boring. It's
not great. I like the idea so much, though. I like the idea of, it goes from a Muppet segment to an animated segment with these these animated versions of the Muppets that we already know. But it's not quite a coherent show.
You know what? It just occurred to me, it's not unlike Muppets Now in its disjointedness.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, you're right.
So, and yes, Anthony, as you pointed out, Little Muppet Monsters had already come and gone a few months before the special even aired.
Right.
So
yeah, it was a distant memory.
Yeah, when Big Bird says now there's Little Muppet Monsters, he's a liar.
Big Bird is lying.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a clip of it's an interesting choice. They show the puppet Muppet Babies from the Muppets Take Manhattan singing I'm Gonna Always Love You. And that audio continues to play over clips from the opening theme of the Muppet Babies Saturday morning cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the ill-fated Molly, Tug, and Boo from Little Muppet Monsters. Then we get some Fraggle Rock. Man, this makes me want to sit down and watch Fraggle Rock.
Yeah,
but it's just so brief.
It's not even a minute, right? It's like...
No, I don't think so.
It's a nice teaser. I mean, we get Traveling Matt's little narration about how great Fraggles are. And then some clips of the theme song and some clips of the demo version of the theme song, oddly enough.
Yeah, apparently I saw that on Muppet Wiki. Not the final version of the theme song that they used on the series.
Yeah, there's a shot of the Gorgs and Junior falling over, and there's a shot of the Fraggles all looking up, and those are both from the demo version before they'd figured out the structure of the theme song they wanted to go with, which is it's a bizarre choice.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Next is the Swedish chef who introduces the talking food. They're very grateful for Kermit recognizing that vegetables have talent. I love the way the Scallions, performed by Jerry Nelson, pronounces the word vegetables.
The Scallions, performed by Jerry Nelson, sound kind of drunk. And I like to imagine that that's because they were sautéed in wine.
Oh, sure. Maybe Jerry Nelson was sautéed in wine too.
Maybe he was.
That's just the kind of joke they would have made too.
Right.
Yeah. Kermit was the first to recognize the way vegetables have talent.
But also, let's just take a second to appreciate that this is a special where, completely without irony, a talking scallion introduces the Kuzbanian mating ritual.
Yes.
And
there's not much of a connection there.
No, but it's just like Muppets love strange stuff. Here it is. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
And that strange grapefruit whose eyes are inside of his mouth.
I was going to say, I am fascinated by the Muppet grapefruit with the little beady eyeballs inside its head. Yes. I don't know who built that thing, but yeah, what a fascinating choice.
Yeah. I like how the vegetables, at first the scallion is talking and the other vegetables aren't moving, and then they slowly kind of wake up and you realize, oh, they're all Muppets.
Yeah, and they're all alive. Yeah, they're all being performed. The scallion is talking about how Kermit will take any act, even the really weird ones, something to that effect.
And then we see two aliens having sex.
Yes. The Kuzbanian mating ritual, one of the all-time greats. Again, we should see more stuff like this, just really weird stuff.
Just weird stuff,
yeah. So Uncle Traveling Matt is in the ballroom. He's sitting at a table with Sprocket. It's a nice nod to, just continuing the integrity of the Fraggle lore. Just the fact that Traveling Matt is the only Fraggle who has been outside of Fraggle Rock into outer space.
I'm of two minds about this.
Yeah?
Because on the one hand, I do appreciate that. It's nice. It's they're holding the as you say, the integrity, the continuity. But at the same time, I want to see a table full of Fraggles.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
That would be fun.
I want to see a table full of rats and doozers. And I want to see Junior Gorg's giant eye peeking in the window.
Oh, that would be... Ooh. Yeah, I would have liked to see that.
But I do like how Sprocket is lapping at a cup of tea. That's cute.
Great.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that. That's funny. So that leads to a montage of more weird stuff. Oh, he says what does it take to be a Muppet? Imagination.
Not cookies.
No.
God, that's so good. Traveling Matt and Cookie Monster team up?
Yeah, do you know what it takes to be a Muppet? And Cookie Monster pops up and says, cookies! And Traveling Matt says, no.
It scares the hell out of Traveling Matt, too.
Yeah. The audience loves it. The rest of the crowd, we hear the laugh track, thinks crazy. It's hilarious.
Yeah. But that's that kind of crossover moment that Grant, I think that's what you want more of, right?
Oh, yeah.
Although I will say...
Yeah, a character from one franchise interacting with a character from another one.
What a bizarre choice,
yeah,
too.
Right. But I think that's kind of why it's fun.
Yeah.
I do also wonder that maybe this is where Sprocket met the casting director for Dog City. Because Sprocket plays a guy who gets thrown out of the bar in Dog City.
Right. Is it the same casting director?
Oh, I just meant like Rolf or whatever.
Oh, sure. He made some connections.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly logical conclusion. So this leads into a montage of more weird stuff.
This is another montage that I absolutely love, with Ben Vereen singing Pure Imagination.
Yeah, and Ben Vereen singing Pure Imagination with a bunch of weird...
Strange, surreal, the talking stalactites with the toothache, the gawky birds, just wonderful, weird...
The birds jumping on the power lines.
And Marjorie for a couple seconds there.
Yep. Mount Rushmore from Sex and Violence. This was one definitely where, as a kid, I was like, what is that? What is that? I want to know what these all are. So then coming out of the next commercial break, we see Grover briefly run by in the foreground. He's working as a waiter. He's maybe the only Muppet that doesn't get to just sit down and enjoy the thing, which is just, I love that detail.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd and Janice are up front to talk about Muppet music. Floyd says their first big hit was Ernie singing Rubber Ducky.
Yeah, so there is another Sesame clip. I forgot about that.
That's
true,
right.
Yes. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's
which is true though. By the way, Rubber Ducky charted on the Billboard charts. I forget what the highest position was, but
I can tell you off the top of my head, it was number 16.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, which is like really impressive.
Yes, it is.
What is number 16 on the charts right now?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
something by Dua Lipa.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm
going to find out. Today is September 28th, 2021.
Oh, peek behind the curtain.
And number 16 is Fetish by Selena Gomez.
I don't know that song, but
nor do I. But
I'll have to check it out.
The Muppets cameo guest star Selena Gomez.
Also, Studio DC Almost Live Episode 2 host Selena Gomez.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
No, I'm not familiar with the song Fetish, but I'll have to give it a listen.
But
and see how it compares to Rubber Ducky.
It's the Rubber Ducky of today.
Yes.
I have found Selena Gomez to be delightful on Only Murders in the Building.
Yes!
I think she's
tremendous
show,
on the show, yeah.
The show is great, and she is great on it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
With Muppet Show guest star Steve Martin and Muppets Tonight guest star Martin Short.
That's right.
Excellent. Wow. Amazing.
And Letters to Santa featured player Nathan Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So everyone has a Muppet connection.
Everyone has. I think Amy Ryan doesn't, which is a bummer.
I was just trying to think if Amy Ryan did, but yeah, well, she should.
Give her time.
Then, yeah, that's mostly Muppet Show clips of musical numbers. Any thoughts on these in particular?
It's nice to see them. I like them all.
Yes, it is. So Scooter shows up. His favorite thing about the world of the Muppets is the guest stars.
Tweet.
Rockin' Robin, that's in the musical montage?
Yeah, and the animal goes by afterwards still saying tweet.
Yes, that is excellent. This is where we see clips then of guest star moments, including that Lily Tomlin clip, which is the only one not from the actual Muppet Show.
No, Ray Charles
from the Muppets
is in
Go to the Movies.
Ray Charles is in there too.
Doesn't he come a little later?
Yeah, he's in a different montage.
Oh, he's in a different montage? Okay.
Yeah. Muppets Go to the Movies, though, we talked about at length in a previous podcast episode, if you want to go back and listen to that.
That's a really good episode. It's got Danny Horn on it.
It does.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very entertaining.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Robin then asks Kermit what he likes about the Muppets. Kermit says, "You know, Robin, there are times when the Muppets aren't funny." Robin says, "Yeah, but I usually figure that's the writer's fault."
Oh, that's such a good joke.
It's such a good joke, and it was written by a writer.
Well, and it's so perfect for Robin too. It's just a sort of naive misunderstanding.
Yeah, exactly. So innocent. But no, Kermit is talking about the serious parts, and we see Turn the World Around with Harry Belafonte. We see For What It's Worth.
This is where we see Ray Charles, right? He's in this montage.
Yeah. For What It's Worth with the woodland creatures hiding from the hunters. Man, I can't believe they made the Muppets woke. Like, what is the world coming to? Muppets didn't used to be politically correct like this.
Like this, anyway. Like the Bob Hope episode.
Right.
I guess the African Mask Muppets couldn't make it to the gala. That's too bad.
Oh no, we don't see them, huh?
Yeah.
They're out. Like, I know those puppets still exist. Like today, they were in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They were at the Center for Puppetry Arts or Museum of the Moving Image or one of them places.
But yeah, I wonder where they were. They were just in a warehouse or something when this was taped. We see Kermit singing "Being Green" alone, and then with Ray Charles. You would definitely, it would make sense to think that this was on the Muppet Show, but I think I forgot to fact check this, but I believe this is also from one of those episodes of Cher.
I believe that's right.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Where Ray Charles was the other guest that night. I think that's right.
Appeared on Cher to sing "Being Green" as a duet with Kermit, yeah.
Yeah. They're never quite singing in unison. I find that somewhat endearing. That, like, I don't know how many times they rehearsed. Maybe they didn't rehearse, but they're never quite singing the same syllable at the same time.
But it gives it this real quality of these are just two friends hanging out singing a song.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I love it when Ray Charles puts his arm around Kermit. That's really nice.
Yes, very nice. After the next commercial, then, Gonzo is sitting at the chicken table. He accidentally calls the chicken Camilla, who is not Camilla. I know we've talked about this thing where Dave Goelz has said that Gonzo doesn't actually know which chicken is Camilla. I'm not sure I like that. I like thinking of Gonzo and Camilla as having some kind of real relationship, but whatever.
And I love his turn of phrase saying, "I have forsaken the rarefied ambiance of the head table."
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, that's excellent.
I strive to include that phrase, to genuinely have a moment in my life to say that phrase. And it hasn't happened yet. But
be more like Gonzo. Gonzo introduces the cultural side of the Muppets, which includes several clips from the Muppets Go to the Movies. That special was just a few years old at the time. I guess it had only aired once, so they figured they might as well use a bunch of these clips.
Right.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah. Any thoughts on these other clips in this montage?
I feel like by cultural, do they just mean pop culture? Because, like, the Star Wars spoof on pigs in space, like, that's not...
Yeah.
They set it up like it's going to be, like, high art kind of stuff. And then it's just like,
right.
Here's Gonzo being Darth Vader. Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, no.
It also includes 2 Muppet news flashes, which are not really cultural or artistic.
But the news... Yeah, the news is high art, I guess.
I guess so.
But no, actually, since this is the only time we'll get to talk about that Pigs in Space sketch, it has fascinated me my whole life that Piggy has to see Darth Nader from our perspective instead of her own for that joke to work, right? Because Gonzo is looking out at the camera and Piggy is standing at his side, which means she can see him in profile. She can see his nose.
Yeah.
And she says, like, who are you behind that mask? And then Gonzo turns to her and says, well, you may ask. And then that's the laugh. And then that's when Piggy's like, oh, brother, or whatever. But she should have been able to see him the whole time when he was looking out at the camera. She could see the nose. We couldn't. But, like, she reacts as though she's seeing it from our point of view, right? Like, or the joke doesn't work.
It's like in a horror movie where the monster suddenly jumps from off screen and surprises us, but the damsel it's jumping at should have been able to see it from where she was, but we can't see it from where we are.
Her vision is not limited by the frame of the camera, but it is because it has to be.
I just remembered that for most of my childhood, I didn't see Star Wars until I was about 13. I don't know how that happened.
Okay. I could have lent you a tape with Frugal Gourmet in it.
Because of this clip, for most of my childhood, I assumed that the call and response line, who are you behind that mask? And well, you might ask, was from Star Wars.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. I think when Star Wars first came out, the first one at least, I think there was this expectation of, like, there's going to be some big reveal. I mean, then I guess eventually there was, but...
Right.
Like,
just not that one. Not
yeah.
Like, not Darth Vader takes off his mask and it's Uncle Owen or whatever.
Right.
Gonzo.
Gonzo.
Right, that would have been something. Yeah, so then Fozzie clinks his glass in front of, at the head table. He wants to say something special about Kermit. He says, is it mushy to say thank you? Oh, Kermit says, don't get mushy. Fozzie says, is it mushy to say thank you for the faith you have had in us all? Is it mushy to say thank you for making us a success in the show business?
The show business.
Yes. For all the hours of joy you've brought to the world.
Freddie Goss pointed out in some recent interview that Fozzie always says the show business.
Right.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that.
Because he says it to his mom in Muppet Family Christmas. He says, the one who gave me my start in the or my big break in the show business, Kermit.
The show business. That's great.
Yeah.
Then the other Muppets chime in, and they all agree with him. Fozzie is overcome with emotion. He throws to the next clip package. It's these sentimental scenes set to the musical accompaniment of Linda Ronstadt singing When I Grow Too Old to Dream from The Muppet Show. When they come back from that, all the Muppets are crying, except for Kermit, who's making his sheesh face.
Yeah, that rules.
It's such a sweet montage. Like it's Kermit having a sweet little moment with all the main characters. He's dancing with Piggy. He's comforting Gonzo. He's putting Robin to bed. It's sweet.
Yeah. And, of course, it wouldn't be a Muppet retrospective without Rainbow Connection. So then, of course, at the end, we get a clip of the reprise from the Muppet movie.
So can I ask you a question about this?
Yes.
You famously are tired of the Rainbow Connection being performed in contexts that are not the Muppet movie.
Is it famous?
That's one of your signature bits on the Tough Pigs website. I would say.
Okay.
I would agree.
Do you like this one where it has like Miss Finch and Traveling Matt singing it, or is it still just feel?
Well, for one thing, I don't think Kermit even sings it, right?
Yeah, I guess not.
Is he singing along with this? And then, how many times had it been done by this point. It wasn't like so done to death in 1986.
Right, but what I mean is like in retrospect, does it feel more tired?
I mean, when I watch it now, yes, it does. There is a little bit of that, like, oh yeah, here's that song again. But no, I think it still is nice in context, and yeah, seeing 100 Muppets in this room is from all these different productions.
That's the thing, right? You see this whole huge room full of Muppets all singing it, and then different character groups get these little close-ups.
Right. I don't know how this crowd of Muppets compares to the church in Muppets Take Manhattan or the finale of the Muppet movie, but this might be this is probably like the number 3 largest assemblage of Muppets ever, right?
Well, I tell you, the wiki lists 139 characters.
Okay.
But some of those are character groups like pigs or chickens, so it's definitely more puppets than that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot. So yes, it is very cool seeing them all sing this. There's one shot. It's actually the shot where I noticed Bruno was there. Bruno, the guy who carries Oscar's trash can around. You also see some Anything Muppets, like Sesame Street style. And there's one of them who he seems to be standing on his chair, like swaying back and forth, or like swinging his chair back and forth. And then at the very end of that shot, it looks like he's toppling over. I had never noticed this before. It's kind of hard to tell for sure if that's what's happening on the YouTube version of this. But I think that's what's going on, and it's very funny. And I would love to know which puppeteer that was. Like, my instinct is to wonder, of course, if it's Richard Hunt, because we just sort of think of him as being like the goofy Muppet performer.
Right.
But yeah.
Perhaps this is a nice segue into the upstaging story.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. So there's a story that has been told by Kevin Clash, who was relatively new to the Muppets at this point, but I guess still like one of the guys who had been around on Sesame Street a lot and stuff.
Right. Well, this is like, because 85 is when he took over as Elmo. Okay. And he's one of the key performers in Labyrinth, which would be right around the
That's
same
true.
time.
That's true.
You know, so I mean, he was like a major. He was young, but he was getting those big roles already. You know. Yeah.
So, Anthony, do you have that in front of you from the book Jim Henson the Works?
I do. I have Jim Henson the Works. It's page 66, and here's what Kevin Clash has to say about this. In 1985, we did The Muppets, a celebration of 30 years. We were doing a scene that involved over 200 puppets, and Jim asked all the main puppeteers to help the 100 or so background puppeteers with their performances. Steve Whitmire and I were watching the monitor when we noticed this one little white rabbit in the background of the shot. While all the other puppets were calmly and rhythmically singing along to the pre-recorded song, this rabbit was hyperactively jumping up and down and shamelessly upstaging the other Muppets. We looked at each other in horror, and I told Steve I would talk to Wayne Moss, the floor manager, and have him instruct the rabbit's puppeteer to tone down the wild movement. When asked, Wayne gave me a puzzled look and said, "Are you sure you want me to tell that puppeteer to tone down?" I said, "Of course, he's staging everybody else." Wayne reluctantly spoke the instructions into his walkie-talkie. The puppet slowly sank behind the table as the puppeteer's head slowly rose above it. It was Jim!
Ah! It's the boss.
It was the boss man himself. So that's so much fun. Like, he's just like up there playing some random rabbit puppet during this sequence. Like,
yeah, that's terrific. That's great. That he just grabbed some little rabbit, and that he was having so much fun with it. I have looked for a rabbit bopping around upstaging everyone. I haven't seen it, so I guess maybe it didn't make it to the final cut. Have you guys ever looked for it?
I've never looked for it.
I've seen rabbits, but none of them are.
None of them are jumping around upstaging everyone. All right. Well, I guess he took Kevin Clash's advice then. So that's funny. Then that's pretty much it. Rainbow Connection, a ton of Muppets. We see Jim Henson himself sitting at a table off to the side, watching everything going on. Grover, the waiter, brings him his bill, which is a piece of paper that just goes on and on and on and on and on.
It's the bill for everybody.
Yes, the bill for the whole room. I love that.
Wonderful little... And did you notice, too, that he's Jim sitting at a table with the Salmon Friends characters? You can just barely see them, but they're...
I didn't notice. Are they
that's
there?
Great. What a delight.
Oh, his old friends. So, yeah, then... But, I also love, though, that's, like, it's a joke to undercut the sappiness of Rainbow Connection. They're just
That's what they do.
Not just leaving it there, yeah. And then Kermit takes the lectern to say, "Thanks, everybody. It's been a great birthday party. We begin our second 30 years tomorrow, so rehearsal begins at 9 a.m. sharp. See you then."
And here's the thing. Here's what's kind of fun. That second 30 years is over now. We knew.
Oh, snap.
We know how it went. It ended.
Yes.
It ended when the sitcom got canceled.
Oh,
jeez.
And here's the thing. It was a lot spottier than the first 30.
well, there were more downs than ups, maybe. But
Yeah, there's some real ups. Don't get me wrong. There's some great highs in that 30, but yeah, I was just thinking about that while watching.
They're still around. There's still such a thing as Muppets.
There's still such a thing as Muppets. As we are recording this, they have a new special premiering on Disney Plus in 10 days.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah,
And it's got Johnny and Sal.
And there's still
Johnny
Sesame
and
Street,
Sal.
and there's a new Fraggle Rock coming.
And lest we
Phil
forget
Rogers.
Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies is still
And there's
on.
a new
That's
Muppet
right.
Babies.
Little Muppet Monsters is coming back. No, it's
Well, here's the thing, though. This is what I've said before about remakes. Like, everything is being remade now. I want to see more remakes of things that weren't that good the first time, because there's so much more room for improvement. Like, don't remake movies that everybody loved or TV shows that everybody loved, and then
Right.
they're going to be compared to the old thing, and people are going to say, it wasn't as good as the first time.
Well,
remake Little Muppet Monsters, and there's so much room for
Make it
improvement.
good.
yeah. Well, the one I always think of is Ocean's 11, which the Frank Sinatra movie is not that good. Nobody really likes it that much outside of
there's a sort of like nostalgic fondness for the performers themselves,
Right,
but no, it's not a good film.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like a title people knew because it's like here's Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack doing a heist movie, and then Steven Soderbergh very smartly said, "What if I do Ocean's 11 again, but make it good?" and it worked. I think that movie's terrific.
Right.
Tell you what, guys. This is the exact moment that I discovered that Ocean's 11 was a remake.
Is that right?
Oh.
Never heard of the
No
old
kidding.
one.
Yeah.
Wow.
1960. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr.,
The Rat Pack.
Angie Dickinson.
Yeah.
But what I want to say about that rehearsal begins at 9 a.m. sharp joke, which is a really funny joke, but I want to believe that was Jerry Jewell who wrote this special, the great Jerry Jewell.
Yes, he's the only writer credited.
Getting in a good-natured jab at Jim Henson.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's what Jim Henson would do. Jerry Jewell tells a story in one of the Fraggle Rock DVDs, saying that they had just wrapped production on the Muppet Show in England, and they were having a big wrap party to celebrate, and they were all going to go back home. And at the end of the party, Jim said, so tomorrow I want to have a meeting with a few of you to talk about the next show.
Yeah.
Being Fraggle Rock. And everyone was going, the next show? We haven't finished this one.
Just finished, yeah. And of course, he was already working on The Dark Crystal. Like, he was...
Yeah, right.
He had the biggest hit show in the world, and he was already thinking ahead to the next thing he wanted to do.
So Kermit saying this was great, see you tomorrow is very, very on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for some of those Muppets to wake up that early. I'm sure some of them are going to be a little hungover.
I mean, the scallions for sure.
So, then the credits roll over Kermit singing Happy Feet from The Muppet Show. I didn't notice a lot of notable people in the credits. The producer was Andrew Solt. He's done a bunch of similar sort of like compilations and retrospectives, including a bunch of Ed Sullivan clip shows. The director is Peter Harris, who directed like half the episodes of the Muppet Show,
and seemed to be the go-to guy for the specials. He did.
Yeah,
he's gonna do Muppet Family Christmas. He's gonna do Muppets at Walt Disney World. You know,
right? Yeah,
I think he did
there's
Muppets
a credit
Go to the Movies, right? Didn't he?
I think that's right. Yeah. There's a credit for something like Muppet Historians. That's Jane Henson and Bob Payne, which is a nice nod to them as being there from, well, like in Jane's case, from the beginning at Sam and Friends, and then Bob Payne joined shortly thereafter.
Bob Payne is such an enigmatic figure because he was there on Sam and Friends, and he made like a couple appearances as a puppeteer on Sesame Street, a couple appearances as a puppeteer on The Muppet Show, but like he was never a regular member of the cast.
Yeah, it seems like they would just kind of call him in periodically when they needed another puppeteer to work on something, and he would show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm surprised that they don't credit these other, 100 puppeteers or however many worked on all those other characters in the ballroom scene. But yeah, I guess they know who they were. So at the time, then CBS was doing these little read more about it bits where it would a character from a TV special or an actor from a TV special would encourage you to check out some books from the library that were related to the show you had just been watching. So Kermit tells us to get some books about puppetry. So Anthony, you had something?
Well, that wasn't on the copy that I got from a tape trade.
Sure.
So I'd never seen this. I didn't know it was going to happen until today. I was watching.
No, neither did I until yesterday.
So
yeah,
I know I've mentioned on the show many times that I'm a school librarian, and so Kermit shows up and he's like, "Check out these books about puppetry at your local library," and I was just like, "What? Why? How did I not know this until now?" Like,
do you have any of those books at your middle school library?
I do not have either of those specific books from the 80s at my school library.
One of them was called "Learning with Puppets." I forget the other one.
It was called like Puppet Craft or something, I want to say. Does that sound right?
It's interesting that none of them are, like, there were already Muppet books and books about the Muppets by this point, but they're not, they didn't go for one of those.
Kermit should have said, check out the Big Boy pamphlet at your, at your
the Big library. Boy comic book, yes. But yeah, not even like the Muppet Show book or Of Muppets and Men. They just went for books about puppetry.
I checked out the Muppet Show book at my local library dozens of times.
I think I checked it out from my school library on one occasion. So yeah, that is the special. It's a fun hour. Like I said, I think this would be a pretty good way to introduce somebody to the Muppets if they were already interested. But I think for people like us, it's also just a really fun way to celebrate, as the title says, to celebrate the characters and everything they've done. Any final thoughts on what's in the special from you guys? Grant, starting with you.
Yeah, I want to call out some notable absences. Okay. Some notable Muppets who were not in the crowd. There's some early ones. There's some that appeared in montages but were not in the crowd. Wilkins and Wonkins, the LaChoy Dragon.
That's true.
The Land of Gorch characters. Tamanella Grinderfall is not there.
Ooh, it would have been great to see her.
Oh, yeah, that would have ruled.
Interestingly enough, Elmo is not there.
Huh.
And he was already being played by Kevin Clash at this point. But I don't think he's there, not even in the crowd scenes.
Yeah. I mean, the Snuffy's not there either, right?
That's the other thing.
Snuffy was the only, like, huge character that I could think of that wasn't there.
Because...
Dog, no.
Oh, you're right, Thog's not there.
The episode of Sesame Street in which Snuffy is revealed to the adults to be real was taped a month after this taped, but aired 2 months before this aired.
Right, sure, yeah.
So Snuffy was still kind of in limbo.
Well, that's like in Follow That Bird, where Snuffy has many scenes with Big Bird and no scenes with anyone else, but they never talk about him. Like, as a kid, I didn't know anything about imaginary Snuffy thing, you know? And that movie never felt weird to me. And it always felt like seems like they must have decided, like, we know we're going to reveal him. Let's just not talk about it in the movie.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, by the time I was around, my only exposure to imaginary Snuffy was Don't Eat the Pictures.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. I never saw that until older.
I'm always a little surprised when I see people on the internet, and it's like it still happens a lot, where a lot of people who grew up in the 70s and early 80s seem to still not realize that everyone on Sesame Street can see Snuffy now. I guess they've just never in the past 30 plus, 30 whatever years,
36
happen
years
to
now,
come
yeah.
across 36. Yeah. They just haven't seen one in the last 36 years where Snuffy is interacting with any other character. But there's a lot of people out there who are not aware. Yeah. Did you have any others, Grant?
Well, also that among the promotional photos for this special, well, there's some lovely promotional photos of Jim surrounded by Muppets, which is really nice. But there's some that appear to just be photos from the special itself. But one of them is of Sam the Eagle and Kermit at the podium, and no such scene exists in the special.
Oh, yeah, maybe there was going to be another introduction to something that got cut.
And I have some more notes, but none of them are about the contents of the special itself.
Okay. Anthony, any other thoughts on what we actually see in the special itself?
No, I think I have said everything I have to say about a celebration of 30
All
years.
right. So we wanted to hopefully briefly talk about the commercials, which are included in the YouTube video of this special.
This special, which we should say, has never been commercially released in home video or streaming. Ever.
No, Muppet Wiki says there was a release in the UK, but not in the
here,
US
yeah.
or
and especially
Canada.
now, like post, I think it was Danny Horn who said in 2004 someone pushed the Jim Henson Company off the mantle and broke it into 1 million pieces.
Right.
Which so like the
you can't. Yeah, they can't release this commercially now.
You can't put that all together now.
Right.
On that subject, though, like it would be easy to say, "Oh, you could never do this now," and you're right. But also, remember, they did a live appearance at Carnegie Hall in 2012, hosted by John Tartaglia.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And they had Muppet Show characters, they had Sesame Street Muppets and Sesame Street Humans, and they had Fraggles.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think there was some sort of, like, thing about which characters could be on stage at what time, or, like, certain characters didn't appear simultaneously and they didn't interact with each other, but... there's still, there's always hope. At that New Zealand Jim Henson retrospectacle, there was that panel, I think it was Brett McKenzie talking to Kermit and Ernie, so anything's possible. But, fingers crossed for the future.
Kermit and Ernie can talk to each other now.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
that was not possible back in the day, yeah. Right. So, yes, commercials from the original broadcast. Who did advertisers think would be watching the Muppets, a celebration of 30 years? Well, pet owners. There are several commercials for different pet foods.
Oh, man,
also,
the plush, what is it, Mighty Pup?
Yeah,
you could
so
call it
we have Mighty Dog.
Yeah, you'd get a plush Mighty Dog.
Yeah, that looks really good, doesn't it?
The dog, the stuffed animal?
Yeah, the stuffed animal. Doesn't that look like something you'd want to own?
Well, and in the ad they say everyone's going to want one.
Yeah.
They do, yeah. I found them on, like, they're all used, obviously, but there's one on Etsy you can buy for $15 if you want to go check that out. And I forget if this is Etsy or eBay for $19.99. So,
that's not bad.
Yeah, so the Mighty Dog, to elaborate a little bit, is this. It's in the commercial. It's a real dog superhero who flies around. He has a cape and a superhero costume, and I guess he's just like flying around giving dogs good food, like food that's better than other brands of dog food. So they made a plush doll of him. And
he's the Captain Vegetable of the dog world.
Yes, exactly. It's adorable. They also apparently thought that people who would be inclined to eat a McDonald's would be watching this. There are several commercials for McDonald's.
I really enjoyed the McDonald's commercial where they just say the word caliente over and over. And then
caliente, yes.
And then explain that it means hot over. No, but they pronounce the L in the commercial. They say caliente over and over in that commercial.
Yeah. It seems like that one was going for like the Spanish speaking demographic. I
mean, kind of, except that they explain that it means hot out loud.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a Spanish language commercial. It was like Spanish words are novel, right? Like,
I mean, that's what Luis and Maria would have done. They'd have explained.
Well, that's
right. It's educational. Yeah. I also liked the one that has like a bunch of jocks at a table. They're like rhythmically slapping the table and clapping their hands and chanting about McDonald's hot and beefy burgers.
Yeah,
that's the only one that I clicked back and watched a second time.
Yeah. So this is not McDonald's, but can I tell you my favorite one from this?
Yeah.
There was a commercial for Cool Ranch Doritos, which are the new Cool Ranch Doritos, and it's like about like a space, like a UFO bringing Cool Ranch Doritos. Kind of, it's like some beam of light.
It seemed to me like it seems to take place like in the American Southwest. Like it shows some sort of maybe like a Pueblo dwelling, if I remember right. It seemed to be like maybe Cool Ranch Doritos were created by some sort of spirit from Southwestern folklore.
Yeah.
Coco Pelli or something?
Yeah, right. And then it says, Cool Ranch Doritos, nacho cheese was just the beginning.
Yes.
That rules.
It's so what a novelty to have Cool Ranch Doritos.
Yeah. And then, but it's funny to me that like, I think it's more noteworthy because that ended up being the other main, like those are the two main flavors of Doritos, right?
Yes, they really.
It's not like it's like something that didn't last, It's not like.
No, they did bring back nacho flavor like a few years ago. You can find that in some grocery stores, but it's not like what people are buying at convenience stores every day.
Right. So I think if that commercial was like.
Taco flavor. Taco flavor.
Yeah,
was
they had
the
taco.
old one.
Yeah. But I mean, if it had been like jalapeno cheddar or something, cool, nacho cheese is only the beginning, it would not be as notable. But it's like, I'm about to blow your mind. Cool Ranch Doritos.
Ranch, yeah, that's it. And then Mary Lou Retton encouraged us to buy Energizer batteries. Not really sure what the connection is there between.
She's very energetic. She keeps going. She doesn't.
That's it. I guess.
Olympic gymnast.
Right, and of course she was like America's favorite athlete at the time.
Yeah, the Summer Olympics that she was in were just a year and a half before this.
Oh yeah.
She was 1984 was her Olympics.
I have an issue of I don't know if I still have it, but I had an issue of the Electric Company magazine that had an article with Mary Lou Retton like doing a workout with a little cartoon character. I wonder if I could find that somewhere. Maybe it's still at my parents' house. Yeah. Sadly, though, this version of the recording does not include a commercial for a cereal called Crispy Critters. But Grant, you said that your childhood copy of the tape did.
It did. It had a commercial for Crispy Critters, a cereal I'd never purchased or tried. But I was obsessed with this commercial for some reason.
As a kid.
As a kid,
yeah. I remember these commercials being on TV, and I loved the commercials too. I don't think I ever had the cereal, but I loved the commercials.
This is the thing. Someone on Twitter was saying a while back, the reason millennials are so nostalgic is because we only own 10 VHS tapes each and watch them all a million times over.
Right.
And, and I didn't really own movies on tape, but I owned a lot of stuff that was taped off television, and rewatching the commercials was an integral part of rewatching the shows.
Oh, yeah, 100% agreed.
When I finally bought a Claymation Christmas Celebration, finally came out on DVD, and I bought it on DVD, and we tossed out the tape, I insisted upon digitizing all the commercials, and I watched them every Christmas because it's part of the experience.
Yeah,
we had a tape from Christmas 1987. I might have said this on the podcast before, but it was Charlie Brown Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, a Smurfs Christmas episode, and a special called A Mouse, a Mystery, and Me, featuring Donald O'Connor as a cartoon mouse. And
I've seen that.
Oh, it's great. I've seen it every year. But all of those had the commercials. And so, like, if I'm watching a Charlie Brown Christmas, I still want to hear, the guy, like, skiing in his living room because he had a York peppermint patty. Like I just like expect it to be there, and it never is anymore.
This Crispy Critters commercial, it's pretty neat. It's got these nice foam puppets, performed, as it turns out, in part by Noel McNeil of Bear in the Big Blue House fame, and Jim Krupa as well.
Right.
Also of Bear in the Big Blue House fame.
Yes, and they're led by this creature called Crispy, who is, it turns out, Rich Little, Muppet Show guest star Rich Little, doing a Jimmy Durante impression.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so funny.
I don't know. I was obsessed with this commercial to the point where my friends and I on the playground used to act out further commercial adventures. saying, "Hi, I'm Crispy, and I'm here in the jungle to discover the new shape of Crispy Critter." Yeah, it's all out of our heads.
Something
right?
about the sort of slightly more abstract shape of these animal puppets that are designed to look like the cereal pieces was appealing to me. I think something sort of very simple and abstract about it. And then this Crispy character, I just was a big fan of his.
Yeah, he seems like a fun guy.
And the tagline is like he says that the cereal is indubitably good or something like that.
Indubitably delicious.
Yeah, there's kids in the commercials who, of course, can't pronounce the word indubitably because they're kids.
It's great. You get to watch these kids adorably stumble over the word indubitably.
Indubitably, yeah. Indubitably, yeah. It's good. You can find just the Crispy Critter commercials on YouTube out there by themselves too. If you don't happen to own a copy of the special that was taped off Canadian TV in the 80s. So, anything else on the commercials before we wrap up?
I actually have one more.
Great.
If we're really okay with still going.
Yeah.
There was a light detective show on at the time called Crazy Like a Fox. And which there's an ad in this for that week's episode of Crazy Like a Fox. Well, that was about a father-son detective team, and the dad was Jack Warden, former Great Muppet Caper star,
right.
Mr. Tarkanian, Jack Warden, and it said guest star. I don't remember who the first guest star was, but the second one was Belinda Montgomery on an all-new Crazy Like a Fox. Well, Belinda Montgomery is Cinderella in Hey Cinderella.
Oh, right.
So double Muppet connection on that week's episode of Crazy Like a Fox.
Yeah. Yep. And this is how our minds work.
Yep. Absolutely.
Terrific.
Indubitably.
See, now I wish I'd said that. I wish I'd said that thing before Grant had this long, heartfelt.
No, I should have asked if there were any questions about the commercials that were on the recording.
I have many questions about, like, do you think Carnation Instant Breakfast is really healthy? It's not, right? It can't be.
But I guess it's healthier.
Milk.
I mean, is it healthier than not having breakfast at all? Or is it healthier than, I don't know, just drinking coffee for breakfast?
I guess so, yeah. It probably has,
I don't know.
Probably has vitamins and protein. Definitely has protein, man. But anyway,
yes.
There was a commercial in this for Carnation Instant Breakfast that really made me want one. So.
Oh. Well, there's similar products now, even if that one's not available.
No, that product still exists. It's just called Carnation Breakfast Essentials. But it's, as far as I know, the same thing, basically.
Yeah, go out and get one.
I'm going to the store right now.
Have one tomorrow. All right. Okay, is that everything we have for the Muppets, A Celebration of 30 Years, and everything in the periphery of it?
I have one final thought.
Okay.
Which is that I was thinking about how fun it would be to do if they were to do another special like this with all the new characters who have come along since this special aired. So all the characters who are in this, plus I was thinking, you could also have Digit and Earl Sinclair and Bear in the Big Blue House and Deet the Gelfling. And then I realized I was just describing the Tough Pigs Muppet mural.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Imagine if the Great Muppet Mural was a TV special. That would be, wow, I can't even imagine. That would be
Can you imagine Deet meets Bear? Like, has there ever been two purer souls?
Yeah, I think Deet and Bear would get along really well.
They get along really well, yeah.
I wonder if she smells good.
He'd be so into it. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, you're so dirty" or whatever. Bear would be like, "Smells like grass." Smells, you know. Do you always smell this good?
Wow. Well, on that note, we can wrap things up for this week. Not exactly sure when the next bonus episode will be, but we do have future plans, so keep an eye on this podcast feed. Also, make sure you check out toughpigs.com on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, and all those other places. Our logo is by Morgan Davy. Our theme music is by Stacey Rosen. And hey, we have a Patreon that you can go to support us. If you like what we're doing, we would be very grateful. You could send us a few dollars or some Cool Ranch Doritos. And hey, if you have thoughts on this special, on this episode that you just listened to, please do feel free to drop by our Facebook page, the Tough Pigs Forum, or you can email us at movinrightalong@toughpigs.com to let us know what's on your mind. You can find me on Twitter at @MeRyanRowe and on Letterboxd at MoviesAreNeat. Anthony is on Letterboxd at ZeppoMarxist. And Grant, tell us where people can find you and your work or whatever you'd like to plug on the internet.
You can follow me at AbstractGrant on Twitter, TikTok, and most especially Instagram, where you can watch in real time as I attempt to finish building my Big Bird-style full-body puppet before my baby is born in December.
Okay, the clock is ticking.
It's a race against time that I am guaranteed to lose, but let's see how...
Well, I've seen little bits and pieces of things you've posted, and that puppet just looks so cool, so I hope you get there.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And everyone else should check that out as well. And if you don't mind, also please give us a positive review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you can. We do check periodically to look and see if there are any new reviews, and we are very happy when we get a new one. And listeners, please tell all your friends about the show and join us again next time, whatever that might be, for another episode of Movin' Right Along. Bye.
Bye.
9 a.m. sharp.
Hello, my name is Crispy. How do you do? Crispy Critter cereals and entirely new. It's indubitably delicious. Oh, here comes Crispy Critters, a good wholesome bunch. The low sugar cereal with lots of crunch.
Yes, it's indubitably.
Indubitably.
Delicious. Post Crispy Critter cereal is part of a balanced breakfast.
Cha-cha-cha.